Is Bitcoin an expression of unity? Well, it depends on your view of Bitcoin. I think I'm in the camp of yes, it is due to the nature of its technology, as in that it's decentralized um, and consensual for the all the nodes that are the blockchain is stored on. That it's peer to peer, trustless. You don't need a third party to transact. It's, I mean, I guess you could say technically the third party is the internet. Um, but I think, and this technology may already exist, but you may soon not need an internet connection to send Bitcoin. Um, Maybe through some sort of RF or Bluetooth, perhaps. I'm sure if that technology is not already out there, that someone's working on it. And if that's not even the case, then someone will probably think of it. I mean, I just thought of it, but am I going to work on it? I don't know. Um, yeah, this is an interesting question. Um, I was listening to a podcast from Maple Bitcoin, which are like three Canadians that talk about Bitcoin. And the one guy, Jor, um, I I tend to I like these three guys, but and the one guy, Jor, said that he believes that we're all one, um, and belief is one thing, and so to talk about in a different video, but this is a generalization, but people who are interested in Bitcoin have a higher potential of recognizing unity um, because they see that centralized control, everything getting more and more central, is due to greed. That because the ability to print money is in the hands of a few, power will be consolidated to them, and then also taken away from everyone who does not have control of the money printer. I would say, at least throughout history, that the temptation to print more money if you have the ability to do so is too high. Um, if you're not thinking about the people whose wealth you're stealing from. And I don't know if people knew that they were doing that, but people probably did and wanted to keep it going because perhaps some society was built on this like credit based system where you could just print more or very easily make more of a currency that already existed. And if you're that person, you'll have more money at first, right? So you can buy whatever you want. And then that money gets circulated into the supply of money. Now, the person you bought from has more money now, so they will spend it on other things, which in the short term increases the amount of buying and the amount of money flowing into the economy. But that would probably lead to an increased demand for goods because more people have more money, so they can demand more things. And if the supply of the things being demanded is lower, then the price of the supply is going to go up to meet the demand. So, although, yes, you were able to print more money in the short term and buy what you wanted, it's in a little bit more long term, it gets spread out and things eventually start increasing in price. Um, and this is has I think it has brought about a great illusion of wealth um, in today's world that you see an ad, like I saw an ad in a magazine a few days ago that said gold is at an all-time high, which like on the surface sounds fantastic, but after studying Bitcoin for a few months, I immediately think, is gold at an all-time high, or is the purchasing power of the US dollar at an all-time low? Because at one point, I think you were able to buy an ounce of gold for $44. Now it costs like 3,000-ish dollars to buy that same ounce of gold. And so only $44 used to get you an ounce of gold back then. But because the supply of the US dollar has been inflated so heavily, it now costs thousands, 1,000x more than 1,000 to get the same ounce of gold. So it's just interesting, like peeling back the layer of this illusion of wealth that we've built up. And I haven't really brought it back to unity, but if we live in a free market where its natural state is deflationary, in the sense that if we're using sound money, which is Bitcoin's a scarce asset. There can never be more than 21 million Bitcoin. Every other asset you can make more of, as far as we know these days. Even gold. Gold has been the best asset in history thus far because it's really hard to make more of it. So it's close to a free market, but Bitcoin is actually a free market. So in a world where it's a truly free market, there's always going to be an increase in productivity because humans are naturally increase productivity the more they learn about reality and the more they apply their intelligence to the environment. In the state of a free market, the price of everything should go down as productivity goes up because it's getting easier to produce goods and services. So, in a world where prices keep falling because productivity is rising, your currency is gaining more purchasing power, and you don't have to work as much to sustain your life. Um, and I think a lot of people these days are super focused on work, on making enough money to make it by, to make ends meet. It's hard to think about the system as a whole, take a step back, view what you're actually existing in, which is the fiat economy. Fiat economy is just economy where more of that existing supply can be made to varying degrees. You don't really have time to think about this stuff, but the more people that find out about the possibility of a free market and basically just getting back their time for working, for producing value for others. I think it depends on the person, but if you had to work less, sure, you might veg out for a couple months and watch Netflix, but eventually you might think about how to produce value in ways that are meaningful to you, in ways that are an expression of your authentic self, and you'll find ways to provide value that makes life worth living more than working for someone else for 40 hours a week for 40 years of your life. Um, Life would probably be more enjoyable in this state, that you would find something. Like for me, it's creating content like this, doing a podcast, um, starting to think about what kind of business do I want to build that is intentional with what I am and what do I enjoy. Um, it's just Bitcoin can be that vehicle towards the authentic self expression that we all yearn for, but we don't we can't even see it because we're too busy with other, you know, trying to keep up with finances and like not drowning. Like it sucks, that on top of your day job, right? If you don't save at all, or sorry, if you save but you don't invest, the value of your savings account goes down every year because of inflation, and there's no plans to get to 0% inflation. There's plans to lower it, but there's no plans to eliminate it. Um, so you can't just save in a bank account. You have to invest if you want to try to outperform inflation. Um, so you have to learn how to be an investor as well. Like, who has time for that, right? Like, as soon as you finish work, you don't want to teach yourself new skills unless you do find that motivation, which is great, but it just takes so much effort now to, like, I don't know, actually enjoy life. Um, and I think studying Bitcoin is worth it. It's worth it to me. I don't know if it'll be worth it to you unless you actually study it and research it. So, you hear this all the time. Set aside some time to do this. Set aside 10 minutes to learn Spanish. Blah, blah, blah. So I guess I'm going to have another cliche here and just say set aside some time to study Bitcoin. You can ask ChatGPT, summarize Bitcoin to me in 3 sentences. That'll take you less than a minute to get started on your research. And then just ask ChatGPT for more sources of information if you're interested. Um, and then if it so behooves you to actually put money into it, I say go for it. How do you buy Bitcoin? You could go on YouTube. Um, you could Google it. Or if you want, you could contact me and I could show you how to do it. This is kind of me as well, trying to formulate plans together to create a new business model for Ebb and Flow. Um, I do solo travel coaching, but it's kind of taken a back seat. I'm trying to think of how to restructure the business and kind of adjust its purpose. I still want to do life coaching. I also want to do Bitcoin coaching now, and I want to tie the expression of unity and authenticity in with financial freedom, because I just know how good it is. I feel how amazing it is to be free, to have gone through all the questioning of my identity, to get down to the very root and raw experience of existence, and then go back out from that core, from that center, and start applying that mindset to the conceptual world. Um, so I think a mix of financial freedom and freedom of mindset can work well in tandem with location freedom, which would be remote work, which is something that I'm also passionate about. So I think, yeah, freedom from three different angles: financial, location, mind. If you start working towards all of those, I think you'll see a significant improvement in your quality of life and the way you view yourself, um, to a point where you're just chilling and you're not worried as much as you once were. You're not stressing about things that you used to stress about. You can put your energy towards adventures that are more meaningful to you. And yeah, I think that is where I want to end this one. But thanks for listening. If you got this far, keep an eye out for any new changes that I make to my business. But I'm starting to feel inspired again after the business has been taking a back seat for a while. Um, yeah, I'll leave this video at here for now. So check me out on other platforms in the description, and peace.